So when they started to print a lot of money, they really started to pour it on down the bottom here. And look at this explosion move that happens. I wonder what's going to happen when the music stops. When the music stops and there's no more printing money and it comes to the end of this big massive debt crisis, we have a long way to go. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So traders, right now, there's actually still a lot of strong momentum on the downside looking at the short-term stock market here. Also, guys, the mining sector right now, there actually may be another drop coming in the mining sector. I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm saying there. It's really, really interesting. Plus, also, there's this one chart that, oh my goodness, one chart completely took me by surprise. I'm just like, wow, most people are not seeing this. So I want to share that with you as well too. So let's actually get off with this market update today, guys. Guys, traders, make sure you grab that free trading course in the first link in the description. Make sure you grab free trading course to that there. So let's actually go through a round here, guys, of all the actual markets and see what's going on here. So the first thing that I do notice here from the S&P 500 perspective is that the S&P 500 right now is still in a downward trend, right? We're still in a downward trend from here. And the hardest thing is, look at this here. So we are getting what? We are getting high, we're getting lower high, we're getting lower high. Now we're getting an equal high. And we had this very strong move to the upside, as you can see, right? It's a very strong move to the upside. So what's happening here right now, we're getting these lower highs. So what I'm looking for to confirm that this is going to be some nice move, a nice movement to the upside, is what I'm looking for is I'm actually looking for possibly a bit of a short-term pullback for here, right? So a bit of a short-term pullback from here on the S&P 500. We had this big sort of massive V bottom action, as you can see, massive V bottom action through there. And the big thing that I'm watching for when it comes to the S&P 500 is what actually comes next out of this level here. Because we've got this big massive V bottom through here. Okay, so that's a V bottom. But what comes next? Because if scenario number one comes, you know what, this is a bit of a fake out to the upside. If we start to get something like that, coming from that there to that there to that there, something like that, then there's a lot of dangers in the markets of this thing continuing down from here and really getting then really starting to see a really strong sell-off in the markets, right? So that's scenario number one, is when we start to do a bit of a pullback through here, and we will, and a little bit of a drop through here, what type of a drop do we get? Do we get scenario number one, which is this level through here, right? Or do we start to get like a bit of a weak, see, it's like a bit of a weak sideways pullback through here, right? Something like that. So this is more like a weak, right? This is very strong on the downside. This is more like potentially what we'll call like a bull flag formation. And this is obviously something that I talk about with my private clients a lot, about reading what the market is telling us right now and what's happening, and then following along with the story from there. If you are interested in becoming a private coaching private coaching client for the next 12 months, and that means pretty much every single day you and I are together for the next 12 months. Then I have a few spots left open. This is opening for 2024. If you are interested in that, guys, that second link in the description, click on that there. Go fill out the application form. Go book a time for us to call, and I personally will call you to see if we're a good fit from there. So that second link in the description there, guys. So we can see through here that this is what I'm actually looking for right now, okay? The S&P 500, I'm seeing what comes next out of this level here. All right, because we can see that. Now, let's go look at, now what I want to do is I want to bring up a candlestick chart here for a minute, right? And I want to bring up, oh, by the way, guys, that intro chart that you saw, this is the S&P 500 here, okay? Let me minimize this here because we don't need that through there. All right, I don't need that through there. But this is the S&P 500. This is what you saw from the intro level here. And on a big level basis, guys, I'm gonna go. I was looking at short term on the daily chart. This is a big, massive, long term monthly charts here. So now I'm gonna go out to big picture here to talk about what I talked about from the intro from this video. Is that they really started to print a lot of money down the bottom here, right? And look what it's created. It's created what? An extraordinary quality move to the upside. Now, when the music does stop, now when is it going to stop? Is it going to be 2030? Is that when the music's going to stop? meaning that that's there's no more from there? Is it going to be 2035? We don't know, right? But one thing we do know is when it does stop, and I'm not saying it's going to stop now. We could go for another move to the upside. We could go something like that to the upside, right? But when it does stop, if this is the entire move from printing money and just printing money and printing money and printing money and low interest rates, if we are now going through a massive change of now higher interest rates and not much printing of money. Now, again, I'm not saying that's happening now. They're probably going to print more money that on the short term of the next couple of years, they're probably going to short term there. But when the music does stop, and we have much higher interest rates, and the printing money slows down pretty much to zero. This is look at this here. We have a long way to go to retrace even 50% of this entire move to the upside. So that's basically what I'm actually looking at there from a long-term level basis, guys. This thing could get absolutely crushed on the downside from there. So really, again, guys, I don't believe that's coming like right now. And it's like, oh, I'm going to short the market, get ready for the big crash. Remember, this is a monthly bars here as well too, guys. And I don't believe that's not going to happen until the end of this decade, right? But when it does stop, then that's when we could see probably one of the biggest crashes of our lifetime from there. But on a short-term level basis, let's go play some ball. And what I mean by that, let's go look at this this S&P 500 weekly chart here. Now, the S&P 500 weekly chart through what I'm looking at is, as you can see, if I'm looking at this from a weekly chart perspective, I'm noticing this here. Right? I'm noticing that, guess what we have here, right? Look at this here. See how we have all this level all through here. Right? So remember, this is a weekly chart here, guys. So the S&P 500 came down, found support level through here, found support through here. It actually broke through. When it broke through, came back up. Look, see how it tested as resistance through here and broke down. So we know this whole 4,250 level area. We know that area is strong. So if this is the line in the sand. If we do start to see a bit of a pullback from here, right? We may get like a little bit of, if we do get a little bit of a small week this week, and then maybe we start to see like a bit of a pullback. If we come back down to here and reject it and then start to head back up, then yeah, here we go. Because then we're probably likely to see, Santa Claus rally at the end of the year. We're probably likely to see that. But this big, massive engulfing candle, big, massive bar, if this level through here does not hold, then we possibly could see something like that. And if we see something like that, then we're possibly likely to see something like that coming out of the markets as well too. So that's what I'm seeing there, guys, from a weekly chart perspective. But from right now, if I go back to my charts from here, right now, what I'm actually looking at is this has actually had a very strong move up. I'm waiting for this thing to go like sideways for a bit, or possibly even like a bit of a pullback through here to see what actually comes again next out of that level from there. Let's go look at the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq is actually breaking to the upside. Very strong break to the upside. We're actually right at that level now. So if we take everything off the screen, look at this here. We're right at that level now, aren't we? And actually, you can see, look at this here. It actually broke above that level today. Let's go look at these hourly charts. Yeah, look at that. Look what's happening through there, guys. Look, that's that major resistance level up through there. Yeah, so this is the hourly chart on the Nasdaq. At least Nasdaq 100. If we do, guys, if we do get something like that, if we get something like that, guys, that's got to be a false breakout. It's going to be a false breakout, guys. It's going to suck people in big time, and then we're probably likely to see something like that. We may get something like that, and then a reversal, and then we may get a bit of a pullback to wait for the moving average to start to catch up from there. So if you are intraday trading on these markets, traders, then make sure you keep an eye on that, because we've done a lot. Remember, it's like a breathing mechanism, right? We've been breathing in, or we've been breathing out. And now I've got to breathe in. Right? Oh, right? Right? We have to, when we breathe out, and then we have to breathe back in. Or the market goes through what? Swings, right? We know how the market works. And this is where a lot of people can get sucked in. Like, oh, look, this is the hourly chart here. And the 15-minute chart's doing this as well too. Like, look, we're at resistance. We're ready to break up. We're ready to go again. And then the market completely dumps on you. It's like, no, right. What we want to do is we want to start to keep an eye out, because if we do get that, guess what? We've been going up all this time. That's when big false breakouts happen. And then something what happens, then you do get a complete reverse from that, from looking at that level from there. So that's what I'm looking at there from the Nasdaq point of view. So right now what we're looking at here is, if I go down now to my daily chart, so you can see what's happening through there. And then if I go down to my weekly charts from here, right? And the same thing for my weekly charts. Actually, let me bring up the candlestick chart again. The same thing for the weekly charts here. What comes next out of this weekly chart? So once again, the weekly chart for me, that's that resistance level there that I just drew a minute ago. But this whole weekly chart for me on the Nasdaq, the line in the sand for me on the Nasdaq is around that sort of 14,600 level there. If we do hold through here and we continue up, then away we go. But if we don't, if we start to get back below this 14,600 level, then it has a long way to go, a long way down to go, right? If we hold here and then we start to do something like this, we start to get low like that, and we start to get something like that coming out of the markets, guess what? It is all over, guys. And we're about to see probably a pretty big movement on the downside from here, right? A big movement on the downside from there. So they're the different levels I'm focusing on right now, especially the Nasdaq. But if we do not hold here, guys, and we start to roll over, that's it. This is going to be like a little bit of a fake out before a drop from there. But we don't know what's going to come next. All I do say, on a short-term level basis, guys, if I go back to this chart here, once again, on a short-term level basis, we're probably likely to see at least a little bit of a pullback from that level there, from that. So let's actually look at the S&P 500. The Dow Jones. Dow Jones right now, very, once again, very strong movement up, strong movement down. Let's go look at this chart from here, right? So we're getting a very strong movement up, strong movement down. There's actually really no one in control. Now, the interesting thing about the Dow Jones is this is the level through here. So we've been having a lot of problems. This whole area through there, where we are right now, as you can see, it's more like an area, right? This whole area through here has indeed been a lot of support, a lot of resistance through here. And then now we're testing this level through here. If we cannot break above this level and start to really make some moves on the upside on the Dow Jones, then the Dow Jones could really start to be really having a lot of problems through here, and then we roll over. And once again, I'm looking at this. If I'm looking at this bar from here, and again, if I bring up this chart from here, the candlesticks, you'll be able to see from a candlestick level basis as well too, that this whole area, so the 33,000 level looks like a strong area of support or resistance. So that line in the sand for me moving forward from a big picture perspective is indeed, if we do hold through here, and for some reason that happens on the Dow Jones from there to there, guess what's coming, guys? Like, we're probably going to come down to here. We're probably likely to see the Dow Jones come back all the way down to the $29,000 level. If indeed we do get back with that 33,000 for me, is that line in the sand for me to watch out for. So on a short-term level basis, if we go back to this chart through here, this chart here, right, on a short-term level basis, guys, we have had a big move up. So I'm looking for some form of at least a bit of a pullback through here once again. Like, what actually happens here? We do actually have a gap here and a gap here as well too. Very. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like that coming out of the markets when it comes to the Dow Jones. And then again, once again, that whole $33,000 level, as I said before, that's that line in the sand for me out of the Dow Jones from that level there. Let's go look at the good old Russell and look what the Russell's doing, right? We had a very strong move up, but the Russell is definitely in a downward trend. Right, we had this high, lower high. It came all the way down. Now we're rallying back up. As you can see, look, this is if you draw on the highs and the lows, then that would be the pattern through there. So therefore, this is that high through here. So we're probably likely to make another lower high here. The Russell's actually quite weak. So I'm actually expecting to see the Russell start to have some more movement on the downside. It's much weaker than the other markets. If we go look at the weekly charts from here and we squeeze our weekly charts up, look where we're at right now. We are at this whole sideways movement from here. up, down, up, down, up, down. Like we've continued to go through this whole process from here, right? So we look at what we're looking at from here is we're looking at resistance, 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 support, support, and then now support through here as well too. And so therefore, guys, the trend is a lot stronger on the downside on the Russell. If we do break this level here, which is the IWM, then the 160 level here, guys, is probably likely to see, if we break that level on the 160, man, we could be getting ready for a big movement on the downside there. But we're not there yet, and we did make a big move. So I would say that we possibly could have a move back down again. So something like this here. But then we may just get like a bit of time here, right? Or a bit of a sideways move, a bit of a resting phase like this. See, it comes down and then just goes like that for a bit. That's what I'm expecting from there, because we have already made a big move from here. So that's what we could get a bit of a short-term move. I don't think it's ready yet to have a big move, a breaking below this level here. Not yet anyway. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, when it comes to the good old stock market itself. One thing I'm noticing as well too, when it comes down to, let's go look at the mining sector. And the mining sector, guys, there's actually a big warning sign across the mining sector right now. Big, massive warning sign across the mining sector. And if I look at my weekly charts here, right, and let me bring up the candlestick chart so you guys can see it a bit clearer. Look at this through here, right? This is the weekly chart through here. What have you noticed? This whole area through here. Now I'm looking at the GDX. This whole area. See how this week now again, guys, this is a weekly chart, right? So this is whole 1 week, 2 weeks. It had a lot of problems through here. Then it came down and bounced off this level through here as well too. So this whole area through here is indeed what? This whole area right here is indeed a major support level. We are right now high, lower high, and now this is some form of a lower high. If we cannot start to really gain a lot of buying momentum and break above this $30 level right now, then we're probably likely to see this thing drop below here and then go for another movement on the downside from here. So that's obviously on the short term of a basis there. If I go to my daily charts from here and I share with you there, we've got a bit of a flat momentum through there. Let's actually go back to the daily charts here. So what we're looking at here is a potential head and shoulder, right? Potential head and shoulder. But if we start to really break below this $27.50, $27 level, guys, then all this was this. Down, up, down, up. Look at this here. It looks like a big head and shoulder formation, right? Oh, big head and shoulder formation. It's gone up. Now we're coming back down again. What happens if we do that? Then we're probably likely to continue down. The trend is still down because we're still making lower highs and we haven't actually broken the high yet. In a downward trend, we want to see lower highs. And sometimes it can come back up and make an equal high, then come back down again. What we want to see is we want to see a breaking of the high. Notice how this was lower high, same high, lower high, now a breaking up through there. So that's what we want to see, guys, when it comes down to the way that we look at the markets from here. And it's important for me to continue to read what the market is telling me as it is right now. And again, guys, for my coaching clients, especially when I'm actually trading the markets and I've got my trading strategy going. And again, if you're interested in becoming a private coaching client, guys, where I'm there coaching you every single day for all of 2024, that's second link in the description there. I'm there every day. I teach you my strategy. I'm there coaching you every single day. If you'd like to get intensive hand-holding coaching, guys, this is it for you. This is every single market open day. I'm there with you to help you and coach you and show you what I'm doing and so on and so forth. So that's second link in the description there, guys. Click on that. Go fill out the application form. Book a call with me, and I'll definitely call you. So we can actually see what's going on here right now. So if we get that on the GDX, then we could start to really get a downward move from here, looking at that through here. So that's what I'm looking at from there. I was actually about to say something else just then. Now looking at the GDXJ, this is the GDXJ. What do we see here, right? A very similar pattern to the GDX. So the GDXJ for me right now is around that $33 level. See that $33 level through there? This $33 level is what? That's that major level through there. What happens if we start to get, what happens if the rest of the week we start to go down and we start to get something like that? What does that mean? Well, in fact, if I just extend this across, that's that level through there as well too. If we cannot break above this, now remember guys, we're still what? We're still making highs and lower highs and we haven't actually broken up yet. We haven't actually broken up yet. We could be getting ready to have a move up, but if we start to break down through there, guys, it looks like we're about to see another dive in the mining sector. And so therefore we could be seeing another move back down towards these levels down the bottom here, like around about that level there, I would say. If I squeeze my charts a bit more. Yep. So around about $26 level looks like that may happen out of that level from there, looking at the GDXJ. Now, moving over now through to the SILJ, the silver mining sector. Let's look at the moving averages as well. Look what's happening with the moving averages. What's happening through here? This is definitely in a strong downward trend. Definitely in a strong downward trend. High, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So the silver mining sector is very, very, very weak right now. Not like the gold mining sector. We're potentially getting the bottoming pattern. But the silver mining sector, and this is one thing I was mentioning at the start of this session, right? Like, oh my goodness, check this chart out, right? Even though, guys, we've been seeing this right now, and we've been going sideways through here. We're at this major level of support. This major level of support, once again, what do we have? We have this lower highs coming down. We have this bit of a sideways movement from here. And then, look at this here. It's actually at this pretty strong level of support. And on a bare minimum basis, if we break that, there's a good chance we're going to head back down towards the $6 level here. Maybe, yeah, around that $6, maybe $7 level. So if I zoom my charts out, then there's a good chance we're going to start to make a move down to there, which is what? Which is another probably 20% drop in the SILJ. So again, guys, we could be getting ready for a movement on the downside. This is it. Now, I think a lot of people get cranky about that. It's like, oh my goodness, John, I want it to go up. Well, you know you can actually short the mining sector, right? So there might be some good opportunities come from there from a shorting perspective. Let's go look at the SIL as well too. And the SIL is doing what? We're still doing what? We're still coming down, aren't we? We're still making highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. And now we're making another lower high through here, aren't we? So we're still just going overall sideways from here. And now we're making lower highs. So very strong downward movement from here from the SIL. And we're at that major level of support. Look at this here as well too, guys. Look at this here. This is actually pretty, right? If we do start to get some sort of like strong down bar, like something like that, we get some sort of strong down bar breaking past this level here, guys, then we could be getting ready for a very, 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 very big movement on the downside when it comes to the silver mining sector. So it's actually not looking too good for the mining sector. And if we do get it, we may be getting ready for another movement on the downside of the mining sector. And that's actually what the charts are telling me. And again, guys, this is not my opinion, right? High, lower high, and another lower high. We're squeezing down and we're squeezing down and squeezing down. And once we break, look at this here. There's actually nothing stopping it from having another movement on the downside. Let's go look at the silver chart. Now the silver chart, same thing, right? I've been embarking on the bullish side. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Maybe it's let's go on the downside for silver. Maybe silver says, okay, we go down from here, right? And again, guys, when it comes down to my actual trading system side of things, I'm always making sure that I'm trading what the market is definitely telling me and not what I hope for. In that free trading course, first link in the description there, guys, I teach you my trading system for free. So if you want the system for free, I teach you my system for free in that actual trading course. So looking at this level here, what do we have? High, higher, low, and now look what's happening through here on silver. This is that major level here, right, on silver. We can see here. Notice we haven't actually broken these highs yet. So I was actually looking for a break above these highs, and we didn't get that. And now we're just going sideways. What happens if we break down? Ooh. Then what? The next level is actually down through there, right? That's that next level. Then silver could be getting ready for... This market could be getting ready... This market could be getting ready to get hit hard, guys. Like, this is what it's setting up for. We could be getting ready for a 10% drop out of silver here soon. If we need to hold here and start to get back above $23.75. If it doesn't, we are going to get hit hard out of these markets. A big drop is looks like everything, especially the mining sector. Man, it's shaping up, guys, to where we could be starting to see a movement on the downside. And if we go look at the actual the gold chart, as you guys know, I've been saying for the whole week, and even last week, I was saying that, hey, we've done an upward move from here and we're getting ready for a pullback out of the gold. And that's actually exactly what's happening, right? I talked about this being a false breakout pattern here. And it's if you rewind this video, you go back to the Nasdaq, you'll see how the Nasdaq was doing what? The Nasdaq is doing on the hourly chart anyway. On the Nasdaq is just doing that. Remember I said before, or if you go back and rewind it, you'll be able to see the Nasdaq. I said on the Nasdaq, if the Nasdaq breaks up, it's probably going to be a false breakout before we get some form of a pullback, right? And that's exactly what we see on the Nasdaq, and this is exactly what happened here on gold. We are getting the gold pullback now. The really interesting thing about gold, though, is it's shaping up to be potentially something different, something completely different to the gold mining sector. What is that? Well, firstly, we're actually started, remember I said before, in a downward trend, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs are the most important part. If we start to break above these highs, like here, it's a potential trend change warning. All we need now is for it to come back down, create a higher low, and start to pick back up, and then away we go from there, right? So we can see this level from here, and then, so that's actually what I'm looking for from there. I'm looking for a higher low from here. If it doesn't create a higher low, and for some reason the market has a bit of a donut in its pants, and we start to do something like this, and we really start to see some big strong selling here, then maybe this whole thing was a fake out with gold. We need to see this higher low first. But if we do get the higher low and we come back down through here and we get the moving average catching up through there, and then we start to pick back up, then we're likely to see some really big moves. And this is when we start to get back above this resistance level here, guys, then that's actually when we're talking about something really, really, really big coming out of the markets from there. So there we go, traders. Hope this helped you out, and I'll speak to you in the next video.